My impressions from this tournament is we played already for 2 stages online. I was really happy that I qualified, and also just after the road to BlizzCon I see it as a good practice, but just going to the finals of this, or going to the LAN finals, was already pretty cool for me, and I hope I can do my best here. I actually, for now on, I actually still like traveling. That might change in the future. The travel to events is always fine. Traveling back sometimes you just want to be home, but all the great countries I visit now and seeing everything of how every country is, I found it a lot of cool life experience to just see, and I actually enjoy traveling now. I actually like some sightseeing, and I hope we can see some awesome stuff in Kiev. I don't know much about it, so yeah, I'm really open for it, and maybe we can visit some cool stuff. I think the difference between a LAN and online is actually really big, especially for new players. It's the pressure that you get on LAN events is a really other pressure than you get online, and I actually really enjoy going to LANs and playing at LANs. You have to handle the pressure, and because of my experience now in a lot of LAN tournaments, I actually really enjoy it, and I think it helps me even a bit more. When I started to play the StarLadder and I saw that I had to win 2 group stages, I wasn't really sure that I could make it. Of course, I knew that it was possible, but I knew that it will be a hard way, and it actually went pretty hard for me. I advanced in the first group stage, and the second stage I actually won, but it was more closer than it looked like, and I was actually really happy that I came out of both group stages. The first group stage was really difficult for me. I had some really good players in it. I had also Stan Sivka in my group that also made it here now, and the difficulty was that people were really focused on my lineup, and that it was really difficult for me to pass that group. Also, some people just had some classes that were really hard for me to handle, and yeah, the first group stage was maybe even a bit harder for me than the second group stage, where I was being more prepared. I have to say the second group stage I was also more prepared. The one certain match was against Sivka that was totally countering my handlock and my warrior both, and I had to face double big game hunters in every deck of him, and yeah, it was really annoying for my handlock to play against his lineup. I had actually no chains almost, so I lost that match. I think it was 3-1. And yeah, that was a match that I almost couldn't win, but I'm happy that I still made it second in the group. But the match against Sivka was a really difficult matchup for me. Player-wise, I really like the house cups. The tournaments that are made in a house cup, like the Fire Game, the Seed Story, the atmosphere, it's really friendly, and it's just really cool to not being at a really big stage, but just hanging out with all the players. That was something I always enjoy, but I actually also like the more competitive tournaments because it's more focused on the game and game playing, and yeah, also here in Ukraine, just seeing the Ukraine for the first time is something I really enjoy. For me, there is way much more beside the game. Especially, I really learned a lot from going to Prague for the road to BlizzCon, where you had an arena where there were so many people cheering for you. That gives you so much support and so much motivation, and it's something that is really hard for me to understand. I was never almost as nervous as there, but it was an experience that I really liked, and it was really cool to meet all these people, and also meeting all the players, but also sometimes meeting fans is really cool. Maybe I'm a bit famous, but I don't really want to look that way. I'm still the same guy as 1 year ago. I'm still Thijs, and I hope that not many people look at me as the famous guy. I hope people just look at me as Thijs. I'm actually pretty good friends with a lot of people in the Hearthstone scene. Of course, my teammates, life coach Radu and Lothar, we are talking a lot with each other. We have a lot of calls, but also besides that, meeting all the, especially European players that we are a bit closer to. It's really cool to meet them on all the tournaments and just hanging out some time. The Hearthstone scene is pretty friendly, and I like to also meet everyone again at all the LAN tournaments. The practice before tournaments goes a bit differently. I always look first at what is the format and what can I expect, and then I look sometimes they announce the group before. That is a pretty important thing. If you know which players you play against, then it makes a lot of sense to predict that. How my normally practice goes, of course I stream a lot and I play a lot on the ladder. That's one, but I think a second thing, and that is playing against teammates, playing against friends, to play these certain matchups you expect and your opponents. I think practicing against your teammates is something that is maybe even underestimated, and it really helps me a lot to do. I don't think just playing random games is enough. It helps you a lot, especially when the ladder is a good practice. In some formats, ladder is an okay practice, but you really have to test your strategies also against the best players. And if you want to test them against the best players, you should play against your friends, you should play against your teammates, and then you get a really good, you really see what is the best, and you really get a good mindset of if your strategy is good enough. The part that I like the most about the professional scene and professional player is that I can, what always was like, I enjoyed playing games a lot, and it was always my hobby, it was my inspiration, and just doing that now and can live from it and can go to all these awesome places everywhere around the world, meeting a lot of friends, and it's something, that is, it's still really new for me. I'm not long already in esports, but it's something I enjoy every day. The worst part for me is probably the pressure you have to handle sometimes. It sounds sometimes easy, but there is a lot of pressure on yourself, or at least I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself every time I go to a tournament. If you want to be one of the better players, you have to put a lot of time, a lot of effort into the game, into yourself, and you really have to get that motivation, and it's really hard to handle sometimes for yourself to stay that strong. The first thing my parents and my friends thought about me playing games competitively, they were actually a bit scared, and they didn't really knew what was going on, and you're going to another country for playing a game, and it was actually super new for me, so I was also a bit scared. But when my parents and my friends saw that it was pretty okay, and especially that they saw me enjoying it, they were already fine with it, that I just did the thing that I love to do. Yeah, I have probably dreamed a bit about being a competitive and professional player. It already started from me young, where I played football and everything, and I always wanted to be one of the better players. And I think everything in life is so similar to what you're doing, and it always has probably been. It was not my first dream, but I always had the mindset of like going professionally in everything I actually did. I played a bit of poker, but it was always not for much, just friendly more and some low stakes. But I never really wanted even getting into it. But I played League of Legends for more than 2 years, and I played it on an okay level. I was diamond every season, but I never took it super competitively. I didn't really play for a team. It was more something I enjoyed a lot, and that is where maybe my Hearthstone experience came from. Just loving the game a lot, and from loving the game I even loved it more, and every day I spent it more into Hearthstone. I came in love with the game. I actually kind of like to do some interviews. I especially like interviews where you get a bit of different questions and not always the same questions that they ask you at every event. So then interviews are getting interesting, but when it is an interview where I actually don't say anything almost, then it feels a bit of a time waste. But in general, I don't mind doing an interview here and there. In the whole world, and also in this tournament, Colento is always a big challenge for me. We played each other so many times, and we are around 50-50 against each other, but every time we play for almost nothing, I win. And every time we play from the big tournaments or going to BlizzCon, he has an edge. So I will play him again, and I hope that I can give my best a matchup that I always like. I never really thought of stopping my gaming career. It's also really early for me. I just feel that I'm just into the scene, and I learn every day so much. So for me, it's maybe it doesn't go that long, but I'm enjoying it now for some time, and I just hope that I can be as long in the gaming scene and the esports scene as I can, and what will come afterwards, that will come afterwards. There is a place for coaching. In Hearthstone it is a bit different than in other games. There is a lot of strategy behind, but having a coach or an analyzer really helps. I'm doing it a lot of myself now, but I think maybe in the future you will see something where other people can take that spot to make sure you can focus full on the game and can just trust these people to make good analysis, good coaching for you. Coach doesn't really have to be a coach. It can also, but being a player is not only understanding the game. You still have to you need the right mindset. You need to have the motivation. You need the mindset of trying to improve every day and every time, and spend a lot of your time into the game. And it's something that you have to consider for yourself if it is worth it. It takes a lot more from yourself than people sometimes think. And a coach can do a lot, and he can be a super good Hearthstone player too. But it's hard to improve all the time. I have some experience with coaching. I analyze a lot. I analyze a lot with my teammates. I did some coaching even to new players. I help my brother or my friends sometimes with the game. So yeah, I know how to coach a bit, but it's something I like to do for some time, but it's not something I can do all the time. Yeah, if you want to get into the competitive scene, you really have to get a lot of good achievements, and you will get good achievements if you are a better player than the rest. And you just have to make sure that you can play well, you feel confident. Don't go to new decks, play your comfortable decks. Don't go to decks that shall be better in this meta. I think for new players and for starting players, it's really important to stick to some certain classes. Try to improve your playstyle with it, try to play them until perfection, and then you can maybe get into the professional scene or try to qualify for an awesome event. I joined the competitive scene in Hearthstone pretty early. I played from the beta. I didn't play any competitive in the beta, but when there was the King of the Hill going on, what was casted by Artosis and Doha, it was one of the first tournaments that was played every week. And once I had get an invite into that, I took my chance because I was nobody before that, and I won it 9 times in a row. And from that point on, I started to get into the scene. I had one chance, and now I'm into the scene. And yeah, I still cannot really believe it, but sometimes time goes really fast. I think if you are a good player, being legend a lot of times, there is still a big switch into tournament play. Tournament play is, for me, as a tournament player, it is really different. Where on ladder people are most likely sticking to 1 or 2 decks that they like the most and play a lot of times. In tournament, you need the ability to play at least 3 or 4 classes, and there is a lot of format. There is way more strategy behind than in ladder. You play against a lot of good players, and it's not easy to get into the tournament scene by just playing ladder. It's something you can compare pretty well, but you need an extra step for tournaments. I can understand that they make the Warsong nerf right before BlizzCon. Of course, they want to have something new at BlizzCon, and I can understand that. But player-wise, I'm really not happy with the change. I would have liked if the change would have happened 2 months earlier, that people could adapt, and that the best players that could adapt to this change could qualify for BlizzCon, and then you have the best players there. Or just wait with it and do it right after BlizzCon, or let it not inflict BlizzCon. It's pretty hard for the players that made it now to adapt that quickly. It is probably a skill that you need as a player, and that's maybe something for me to improve. But yeah, I would like that it would have come a bit earlier. We played the whole year with this, and now right before the end, right before the final, we need to do something else. And yeah, it's I personally, as a player-wise, I'm not really happy with it. I can see a lot of people liking the casual side, the arena side, and it was actually something I liked too. The first 2 months of Hearthstone, I only played arena. But now, being a competitive player, I really don't like the randomness that comes into the casual play, and I can see it is a lot of fun. But for me, just having it a bit more competitively is a bit more fun for me now, and yeah. I would like a change of Hearthstone into just a ladder, probably. I would like that there will be a future of tournament play or something else. The ladder is really standard. It's a bit random, and you face a lot of times the same decks, and it's not a good tournament experience. I would like to have a change into that there is a possibility on playing ladders or tournaments online, or you have it in other games too, where you can play as a team, you can play something in that way. I would really like to have that in Hearthstone too. And yeah, maybe more deck slots is something I would love to. I look at Hearthstone as something that it is and was always my hobby, it's my passion, but it's also now my job. And I just like what I'm doing. For me, it's really important to do something that I like. If I won't like it, I should stop with it, because then it won't hurt myself too much. But at the moment, I really look at Hearthstone as something I enjoy in my life. I get a lot of life experience from, and I love doing it. So it's something I will do until I don't like it anymore. I think a skill that I have is that I put a lot of effort into it. I'm really motivated, maybe more than others, and I spend a lot of time into the game. I also have a personality that I look really criticizing to myself. When I lose a game, I don't look at the game where I lose to something that is random or I couldn't do much about. I look at myself, what I could have done better. And even if I win, I still look at the options or the place where I have done something better. And I think that's a pretty strong mindset. If you want to be a competitive player, you should always look the way how you can improve yourself. Making a new deck, there is a lot of things coming into making a new deck. You need to know exactly how the class works, how cards together works, if the things are not getting too much situational. I have to say, I'm not the best deck builder. I am a bit creative, and how I do it most of the times is I look a bit around how decks are being played, and I try to improve them. Not really making my own decks, but seeing what decks are being played, and I always try to improve them to the best. But yeah, I would still like that I could learn some bit from also making more decks myself. It's something I would like to have. I actually really have a favorite class and favorite decks. My favorite class is actually Druid. I played it already from the start on. It always went well for me. Sometimes people say it's not the best class, but it still does so well for me. I know exactly what changes it needs in every meta, how to play every matchup. I just feel so comfortable with Druid, and that's my favorite class. But my favorite deck is probably Freeze Mage. I'm really a fan of the playstyle of Freeze Mage. It's a really unique playstyle that I really like, and it's something if the meta is fine with it, I would like to play. I don't have a final goal that I want to achieve at the end. I just make always step-to-step goals, and every time when I have a goal achieved, I already look for another goal to achieve. And I actually have to say that I'm already really happy with how it goes now, and that I don't like to make a lot of goals. I just want to see how it goes and just enjoy that feeling of just having achieved the goal, and then you look for the next step. But I don't think you really need too much goals to just be happy. My point of life or goal is I just want to be happy with myself and be what I'm doing. If I have something I don't like doing, then I just don't want to do it. And I think I cannot hold on if I will not like playing Hearthstone, even I'm the best player of the world, but I don't enjoy it, I will not feel happy. For now on, I just feel so happy with what I'm doing, happy with streaming. Even I'm maybe not the biggest streamer, I enjoy it so much to talk with everyone, and that's just something I can already look afterwards, just wanting to stream again. And yeah, I don't really have the big goals in life. I just want to be always happy with myself and being happy in life. I had a lot of hobbies before Hearthstone, but since I'm so much away now from home, and I really find it hard to find the time for it. I played a lot of football when I was young. I like to just hang out with friends a bit sometimes in the weekend. I like to also watch some series sometimes, but I don't really have big hobbies besides Hearthstone now. Maybe in the future I can pick up something. I always like to have some hobbies, but for now on I don't really have much hobbies going on. I left actually football because the pressure went a bit high for me. I had to play 4 days a week and it took a lot of time. We had to travel a lot, and at the end I just didn't enjoy it anymore. And yeah, it's something that was a big lesson for me, and now I really know myself better and now I know what I want. So if I face something I won't like, I just won't do it anymore. I have some experience with other Blizzard games. I play still if I have some time, and I don't have much time, but if I have some time I sometimes enjoy to play some Heroes of the Storm with my friends, and I played already some Overwatch, and I have to say that it is still not out, but I have to say Overwatch is a pretty cool game. Even I'm really bad, I still enjoyed it, so yeah, maybe if I have some time for that I will play it a bit. My last favorite series I watched was House of Cards. I don't like series that don't have a big story behind. Like, I like the action sometimes, but if there is no story behind, series are not. I don't enjoy series. They really have to trigger me. I want to think a bit about it, but I always try to take care of it, that I don't watch too much. If I start a series, I cannot control myself anymore, and I have to watch the whole series. So I just try to not watch too many series at the moment. I don't really have a fantasy, science fiction favorite. It's something I like to play sometimes, but I also know that it is just fantasy, and it's not something that I really have something on. I can understand a lot of people liking it, but I'm more from the strategy games, more from the MOBA games. That is something I like more. Yeah, it's something, I think why people like it so much is because it is pretty competitive, and everyone that is into the esports scene, everyone has a bit of competitive feeling in himself, and that is why you see a lot of players also liking other games. But I think it's pretty important still to be focused on one game. Otherwise, you cannot really focus on two games perfectly, and that's why I try to focus just only on Hearthstone. Lately it goes really well for me, the tournaments. I have the feeling that I can win StarLadder. It's going to be difficult. It has another format that is really interesting. I will give my best, and we'll see where it ends, but I'm pretty sure I can win it, but it's going to be super hard.